Welcome back. Yeah, we're just going to take a load of, or a few loads actually, of these bales. They've finished turning into silage now, so we'll keep like one trailer load of them, and the rest we're going to go and sell. So come with me as we go to sell these bales. Yeah. I thought while we're driving and things, I thought of a good subject we could talk about, because I know that AK has been married for many long years. I don't actually know the story behind how he met his wife, and he may not even want to share it, and if he doesn't, that's fine. I also don't know the story about how Fury met his wife, but I thought I'd tell you a wee bit of a story about me meeting my lovely wife Nikki, because it's a very short story, I'm sorry, so it's not going to take very long at all, but it's I think it's quite a funny story, so I thought I'd share that. And if any of my viewers would like to share, for those of you that are married and things, how you meet your spouse, and especially if it's an amusing or interesting story, please feel free to share it either in one of your own videos or in my comment section if you'd prefer. I just like hearing interesting stories like that. So, I actually met my wife. I'll just use the outside view here. So, where are we? I actually met my wife when she came around to my house for dinner with some other friends and things. So yeah, she came around to my place for dinner, and that's when I met her. And we hit it off almost straight away. But the reason we hit it off, and this is the bit that's really amusing, so I had to go and put something in. She owned a van at the time. I had to go and put something in the back of her van for her. I don't even remember what I had to put in the back of her van. But cars and things in New Zealand, and I assume overseas as well, but definitely in New Zealand, got a decent amount there, 5,200. By the time I've done a few more loads of this, I'll really be able to pay some more off my overdraft. What's jamming it there? Oh, the trailer must have been stuck on those log bits before the side of it went up. So, anyway, so I had to go, cars in New Zealand come with what we call here in New Zealand scissor jacks. I don't know if they're called the same thing in the States or not, so I'll explain what a scissor jack is first, in case you don't know what it is from the name of it. But it's the jack you use for jacking up the car to change the wheels. So the ones that come standard in cars in New Zealand is called a scissor jack, and when you take it out and it's in the down position, so just put the fence there with the trailer, it's very flat, and as you wind it up with a handle that you attach to it, it sort of becomes more and more diamond shaped as it winds up. And I suppose they put them in cars as the standard equipment, A, because they're very cheap to make, and B, because they don't take up very much space, so you can put them in a side pocket of the boot or something like that. But that's what cars come with as standard, and they're not terribly good jacks really, but I suppose they do the job if you're stuck out on the side of the road with a flat tyre, which is really all they're designed for. Anyway, I had to go and put something in the back of my wife's van. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time, obviously. And when I opened her boot, I noticed that instead of having the standard scissor jack in the back of her car, she had a trolley jack. And straight away I sort of thought, well, any woman that carries a trolley jack in their vehicle instead of the standard scissor jack is someone that's, in my opinion, is definitely worth getting to know. So as soon as I saw that jacket in the back of her car, I sort of knew straight away that she was someone I wanted to get to know much better. And I didn't know at the time that I was going to marry her, but certainly I did know that she was someone definitely worth getting to know better. And that was, I suppose, for me, what... So this tractor is really not very capable of lifting 2 silage bales. in Farming Simulator, silage bales are the heaviest of all the bales, and this tractor just doesn't have quite enough oomph for lifting 2 silage bales at once. So it can do it, but it's right on the edge, as you can tell, of its balance. And if I put a heavier weight on the back of this tractor, it's already got like the heaviest weight that it generally comes with, and if I put a heavier weight on the back of this tractor, then what ends up happening is when it's got nothing on the front, it's way too tail happy. So I really, oh come on, what's happening here? Come on, that's it. Does it go on properly? Oh yep, yes it did. Yeah, so I can't put a heavier weight on this tractor, otherwise it tips sort of to the back too easily and you can't steer it when you've got nothing on the front, so it's got the heaviest weight on it. And yes, this tractor is really a bit too small for carrying 2 silage bales. Well, that's all it is. I should really be carrying them one at a time, but then it would take twice as long to actually load up the trailer. Oh, come on. So going to get just right so the back wheel's still getting enough grip on the ground that it can move the tractor. Now that I've got it out of the shed, I can probably do it. The problem is, as you lift it higher, it gets closer to the tractor and it becomes more capable of doing it. But when it's down low, it's further forward, and that's when you've got real problems. So yeah, seeing this jack that my wife had in the back of her van, a trolley jack to replace the silly scissor jack that it would have come with, it was that told me straight away that this is a woman worth getting to know. And so after that, sort of, we started dating and ended up getting married, and we've been very happy together ever since. But yeah, so this is a bit of, I told you it was a very short story, so I apologise it was so short, but there you go, that's how it was. If you do have any really amusing stories about how you met your significant other, then I'd love to hear them. This is not going very well for me today here. Just loading up all of these. As I said, these silage bales I'm going to keep probably 1 trailer load, so that'll be 8 bales that I'll end up keeping, and the rest of them I'm going to sell. So I need to put the money towards my overdraft, which is just too big at the moment. I actually had to make the overdraft, I had to pull out a wee bit more money, because yesterday I was using the Fiat Agri there, and what was I doing? I was baling. Yeah, so baling silage bales. So I've got that new barn I showed you with the white fence around the front to keep the cows out of it, because it's in a paddock with cows in. I've put a whole lot of bales in there, which are just starting now to work their way towards becoming silage bales. At the moment they're just grass bales, but they will soon be silage. Anyway, I didn't watch the fuel gauge as I was doing the baling, and blowing me down, I ran the Fiat Agri dry. I always have the fuel on the fast consumption setting, because I found with Farming Simulator, in my opinion, I mean, probably the slow consumption is actually more realistic, but because you don't, the paddocks are smaller than what they'd be in real life, I'm sure, and things, that you're not driving the tractors as far to do work. I just find that if you have it, the vehicle set to slow fuel consumption, it uses the fuel far too slowly, so you never ever have to worry about gassing them up again. So I always play with the fuel consumption set to fast, so that I do need to watch the fuel gauge and I do need to gas up regularly, which again is costing me money and things, so like that. Anyway, I didn't watch the fuel gauge well enough on the Fiat Agri yesterday, and I ran out of petrol. And I do not own a mobile fuel bowser type thing, so I had to rent one of those, then go and put diesel in it. Oh, I've only got 8 bales on that trailer. Oh, look, I have. Oh well, it's okay. We shall okay, let's just back it up. Oh, what is it? Back it up. So no point moving those bales when you put them on the next load. So yeah, I had to rent a fuel bowser, then go and put diesel in it to go and gas up my Fiat in the paddock, because I completely ran it dry by not watching the fuel gauge on it. So having to rent the bowser and go and put diesel in the diesel didn't actually cost me money, because I found yesterday when this happened, I discovered something else on this map that doesn't work, and that is the petrol pumps at the petrol station. You cannot buy diesel at the petrol station there. So it's fine, because I put a fuel bowser, a non-mobile one, on my farm already, so that one does work. And the one I've chosen is one that you pay to fill up, and then when you're filling your tractors and everything from it, you don't have to pay money, because you pay the money to put the diesel in the bowser in the first place. So it does cost you money, all the time, but it doesn't cost you each time you need to fill a vehicle. It just costs you each time you need to fill the bowser, but then it's very, very expensive when that happens, because you're putting a lot in there. I think from memory it's a 20,000 litre bowser, and I only put 10,000 litres in each time I fill it up, simply because I can't normally afford to put in 20,000 at a time. So yeah, but that was an expensive mistake I made yesterday. It cost me about, I think it was about $4,000 or $5,000 all up to do that, and so I had to pull more money out on my overdraft, hence why I'm selling some of these bales now that they have turned into silage bales, so that I can try and get some more of the overdraft paid off. So, I might have put 10k on it now, and we'll have a look at how much is on there. Repay 5, 10. I can never ever read that number, that loan number there, because it's in red, and I just cannot read the red from where I'm sit. What's it say? 125,000. So there you go, I've got the overdraft down to 125,000 now, which I suppose isn't bad, but I will sell off a few more bales. I think I've got another 1.5, I think, trailer loads to sell, because I've decided I want to keep one trailer load, because otherwise the ones I baled up yesterday are still a long way off becoming silage at the moment. I don't know if I've got quite enough silage bales back at the farm to get me through until those other ones do turn silage, which is why I'm going to keep one more trailer load just to make sure I get through, because if you have to buy silage bales, although in this game silage isn't the gold standard that it was in some previous versions of Farming Simulator, so you don't make millions of dollars from silage. As you can see, I'm selling 8 bales and getting just over $5,000 for 8 bales, which isn't bad money, but it's not as good as in previous versions of Farming Simulator. But so although it's not worth a lot to sell them still, they're still hideously expensive if you have to buy them. So you really in this game have to try and avoid buying silage at all costs, because otherwise you really will end up very, very broke. Don't know why I tab between the tractors then. I normally get out and walk between them. I don't normally hit the tab button. I did just that time. How many bales have I got left there? Yeah. Oh, 1, 2. See, I might have 2.5 more trailer loads to sell. Depends whether I keep one trailer load or 1.5 trailer loads. I'm not really quite sure yet, but I'll either have 2 or 2.5 trailer loads of silage still to sell. And at $5,000 a trailer load, that means I'll get another 10,000. maybe another 12,500 if I decide to only keep one trailer load to go towards the overdraft there. But so yeah, that's, and then once I finish doing this, because it's November now, so next month will be winter time, because winter is December, January, Feb on this map. Now it's the way I've got it set, and the way the map's got it set, I've got it set so it can snow. It doesn't always snow, so there's no guarantee it's going to snow every winter, but it does. It probably snows every second or third winter in the game. But even if it doesn't snow, the grass isn't going to grow over the winter months. So these paddocks, this one that we're in right now, for example, and the other, I've got 4 paddocks that I mow for bales all the time. All of them aren't going to be ready to mow again till a few months into autumn. A few months into spring, I mean, sorry. So it's going to be quite a number of months before I get any more grass to mow. But the other job I want to do today, apart from selling bales, is go and mow the lawns around. Mow the lawns around the house paddock kind of thing, using the hand mower. You don't really need to see that in the video because you've seen me mowing lawns using the hand mower before, I think, from memory. Not on this farm, but you have on other farms. And I also want to go and mow the apple orchard again, because that grass is getting quite long, and I know for certain that you've seen me do that before, so I don't need to sort of leave this job to go and do that one just so you can see a different job, because you've seen that before. So I'll just load up this. This will be the bales 7 and 8 onto this trailer, and then I might call the video a day, because the video the other day was a wee bit long. It was half an hour long. I try and only do about 20-minute videos, but I keep on forgetting to start my timer when I start recording videos. So there we go, call that, and we'll start this up. Okay, so I'll say goodbye, but it was nice to catch up with you all again. Thanks, bye.